Hello, everybody. This is Joseph P. Farrell, and I'm about to light my cigar. And this is our news and views from the Nefarium for Thursday. Actually, I'm doing this early Thursday because tomorrow night I have a meeting, so I won't be able to do it on Friday like I normally do. So anyway, I'm doing this on Thursday, early in the morning. It's May 4th. Gosh, May already. May 4th, 2001. And have a couple of announcements, and then I want to talk about a comment that appeared on my website. I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention because I thought it was really interesting. Um, First announcement is that we don't know yet when Grid of the Gods is going to be out. David tells me he should have the proofs back this week, so that usually means about another month. So it might be June, it might be on into July, but again, keep posted here because as soon as I find out, I will make an announcement on the website. I'll probably make an announcement in one of these fireside chats. And the second announcement is that I really want to thank everybody again for taking the time to spend time on the website, ask questions, do comments. I wish I could respond to them all. But the reason I'm saying that is we have another members only vid chat coming up next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. And that will be at 8 o'clock Central Time. So I'll see everybody there. We had a good chat last time. It was kind of spontaneous. But this next Friday, I'm hoping to speak a little bit on certain topics as we get started and then take some questions and then talk about things that you all want to talk about. Anyway, those, I should say, are the announcements. But what I wanted to talk about today was a comment, very interesting comment, that appeared on the website in response to the ongoing, and I'm amazed, the ongoing interest in the Japanese bearer bond story. This thing doesn't seem to be a story that's going to go away. Most people tend to think those Kennedy bonds that I posted are fake. That's my opinion. But that kind of raises the bar about, just what the heck was going on in that scenario. Such obviously counterfeit bonds. Was it all a practical what? I still tend to think we're looking at a funding mechanism for something. But this is a story that won't go away. But in that regard, I got a comment on my website from Mr. Benjamin Fulford, and I thought I would read that as my fireside chat because this is really very, very interesting. It's very intriguing. Again, I bring to everybody's attention that this is not something that is substantiated, but of course, Mr. Fulford has made his views very publicly known in the past. Many of you have probably seen his interview with David Rockefeller that was posted on YouTube, and he's made his views known. He's on record, but this is particularly interesting, and it reads as follows. The story is long and complicated and cannot be outlined in a few words. It would take several books to explain it all. However, whenever a publisher approaches me about publishing a book in English, Homeland Security freezes their bank account. What I can do, however, is point you to the trail and give you the broad outline of what is going on. In essence, the Western financial system, the process of money creation, has been under the control of an inbred group of royal families who claim to be descended from the Caesars, King David, and Jesus Christ. They hide their control of the financial system through an elaborate network of foundations. The trail ultimately leads to the Rothschild family in the City of London. The BIS, that's the Bank of International Settlements, and the Vatican Bank. So we have, I'm commenting now, we have our usual, our usual list of suspects all involved in this thing. But anyway, to continue with Mr. Fulford, quote, most political leaders are given a huge deposit in a Vatican, BIS, or Rothschild bank account when put into power and told they have a choice between silver, a bribe, and lead, death. Their power structure is controlled by orders of Knights, Malta, Teutonic, Order of the Garter, and so on. who have secret armies at their command, parenthesis, Freemasons, Jesuits, CIA, etc., close parenthesis. There are two sets of books. The official financial data published by governments and organizations like the International Monetary Fund are mostly bogus. The secret books are now in a state of profound chaos because of infighting at the highest levels. Our group is trying to wrest control of the financial system from this inbred group and put it in the hands of a meritocratically selected public organization with transparent books. We are close to victory, unquote. Now, I find that whole comment very interesting because for the last 10 years, since 9/11, I've been promoting the idea, or it's my opinion, I should say, that we are looking indeed at infighting between various factions among the New World Order crowd. Of course, the one faction that I add into the mix that Mr. Fulford doesn't is this whole international fascist or international Nazi structure that I believe survived World War II in relatively good shape financially and even organizationally. It had its own security. Obviously, it had an enormous amount of wealth that they absconded with out of Europe in the form of liquid assets, but other intangible assets of wealth, patents, licenses, plans, personnel, scientists, and so on and so forth. But it's an interesting scenario that he paints because it does two things. It corroborates from a relatively different source for very different motivations, that there is a factional struggle taking place, that this is not all proceeding according to the elite in London and New York City's plans, which I find is a very interesting observation. Um, the other thing that I think is very interesting in this is this idea of two sets of books, because that was a scenario, of course, that I had sort of suggested in my original comments about this Japanese bearer bond story. So this is a very interesting story. I don't think it's going to go away. I think everything's being notched up. We are now looking at the supposed recent death of Osama bin Laden, and already, I mean, almost immediately on the internet, as soon as the announcements were made and the president spoke to the nation, almost immediately there were people finding problems with the story. And I want to add one little comment about that, and that is the story looks to me to be deliberately contrived in such a fashion that people will find holes in it. So, in other words, that's setting up the situation so that those who pursue an alternative analysis of this whole story themselves can be subjected to the management of their perceptions by people in the intelligence agencies and so on. So we have to watch this story very carefully and scrutinize not only the official story, I think we need to be very careful and scrutinize the alternative explanations that are now beginning to circulate on the internet. So all this is very huge, folks. I am hoping, Lord willing, to write a book that will be out, I'm hoping, next year about some of these things, co-author a book with a friend of mine. So I want to thank everybody for your prayers. I really and truly feel them and appreciate them, and I hope you will continue them. And that's it for news and views from the Nefarium for the weekend of May 5th through May 7th. I'm doing it a day early. I may be back Saturday or Sunday if there's more stuff to comment about. Anyway, I'll see you all on the flip side, everybody. Bye-bye.